We're gonna go through the graveyard now. Then we're gonna go up onto the porch, and then around the house, and then looking through. So, standard stuff for the graveyard entrance. We kind of been evolving everywhere else, but the graveyard, because the graveyard is actually pretty good. Usually, fences are our main focus, and dang it, the squirrels are attacking again like they did last year. Of course, and Eddie's still going, so that's good. So we just have our gravestones here. We tried to add a few new fences. Various results. They do look a little bit different from. Apologies, you guys can't even see them. From before, they kind of spaced out. Last minute done fences. Not really a big deal, I don't think, about how they really affected the haunt. It's just nice to kind of have. I do think we now kind of have a decent idea of how to do the build structure of them. But next year, definitely going to do a more defined fence, I hope. It's one of the things that I intend to do. I'm probably going to have to break this up and do several parts here. Anyway, gravestones. This light up like fire, like skull with hands. Some of the other little tiny yard decorations I was not able to get out, unfortunately. But you can say habeas corpus. His face came off. The mask did. We have it. We just kind of forgot to put it on. But it still kind of looks like a shaking, convulsing corpse. Just not quite the same look because we forgot to put the face on. Once again, one of those characters that's kind of not noticed super well because of how small he is. But, cool to have him nonetheless. And this is the sad one right here. This is Demongo. He worked well until recently when he decided to start acting up. As you can see, his eyes are only flickering. He's not making any sounds, even though he's been activated. And so I had to have this little red strobe light over here, just kind of strobing on him so that it gives him some light and so people notice him better. I'm gonna have to, anyway, yeah, so hopefully I'm gonna be able to figure out a way to get those fixed. Maybe it's just water in there or something. Not 100% sure what went wrong with him, but I think that it kind of works with the improvise. Unfortunately, his sound wasn't there. Definitely one of my classics favorites, so kind of a bummer, but at least he wasn't, in pieces. He was still there. So then we do have this zombie gravestone, like we did last year. Here, same stuff, just kind of over in a different area. All together. Gonna kind of try to go through a little quicker now. So yeah, basic stuff with that guy. Same as last year, no changes, I believe. William Compton. Over here looking creepy as ever. I don't know if I covered him in any of the other videos, but people do mistake this guy for being real a lot. One of my friends that was helping me out kept mistaking him for a real guy even after he'd been over at my house and walking around and, working with the haunt for a couple hours, I'd say. It still fooled him, so that's kind of good to know that that's always been a thing. There's the gravestone again, and then the ram head. Whatever you want to call that. I believe that's either a ram head or a sheep head. Then we have the mausoleum, which unfortunately, I apologize, we did not use Atmos effects this year, or the fog machine, but we did have this mausoleum kind of out, just behind everything, for a kind of creepy effect, and then the bride is in here. And I think it looks creepy. Unfortunately, my mom was unable to get the legs to work correctly, so she had to improvise with the chair, and she didn't really like how it looked, but I think with the addition of the mausoleum, putting her in the mausoleum, I definitely think it creates a really creepy effect. It's like, what's going on there? And it's sometimes people don't notice it very well because it's so dark. Because it's so far away. But, I think it's definitely a nice touch, and I'm glad that the bride is back. Definitely will be better next year. Probably will be freestanding now. We have Fungus Face right here. He kept face planting. We just have him on a stool. up against this so he doesn't fall anymore. Definitely creepy. My grandma, when she came over to look at the haunt, she thought this was a real person standing up on here, like one of my friends or one of Steel Horn's friends. Um, so definitely a kind of one of those other ignored characters, but has that little creepy touch that's added. And we have some of these pumpkins which we got for free at Hy-Vee because we got them last night. Then we have a creeper. Oh man. So I added these spiderwebs kind of last minute, like one of the last editions I did before we kind of stopped building for the night. Spiderweb, and then a cradle, and then Spider Biter Billy over here, and with his tag still on. Can you believe it? But anyway, definitely think he was a nice touch. My mom said it was cute. I mean, you guys can be the judge of that, I guess. Depends. So then we have, if you look through Chuckles up here, we kind of just put him on the staircase because we didn't want to put him outside, so we just tied him to there. And then if you look through the door, you can't really see him because of the flash and because of the lighting, but it definitely looks creepy if you were to be actually seeing it with your own eyes versus a camera. So then we have my pumpkin, which is Ghost Face. I tried to do a Ghost Face one, also a free pumpkin. Think it did a decent job. The eyes are too close together. Aren't close enough together. I think it's the candle's not melting it. I don't think. It seems like it's probably gonna rot pretty quickly just because it was already kind of crusty, if you want to say that. Okay, you can see through here. There's not a ton. We got the TV. Vizio was not able to be a thing. We have this hidden character who I'm not gonna really talk about much for reasons, and we have just a few knickknacks. Kind of like it wasn't. If I had to say one of our weak points, like if I were to pick an area this year, I would have to say that it was definitely the indoor part, which usually has a lot of action going on. This year, it didn't so much, but that's okay, because the head garden was new this year, and I feel like that kind of covers for it, because it's definitely unique in my opinion. And then also we have this just Grim Reaper wallpaper we added for effect. Not really super scary, but definitely cool little addition to the haunt. Jumping Jenny, who I had running on constant on for maybe about 30 minutes, maybe, if that, not a whole lot. And then she was kept going, and so my friend and I, we were going through and we were starting to get a little annoyed, so I switched to the motion sensor. So she's that, then like that, and then we have our ice cream cart, which started falling apart, unfortunately. But we ended up taping it together. It's gonna fall apart again. It's already starting to, but it worked. It had the look. The people that bothered to take a look at it liked it, thought it was creepy. Then we have Ice Cream Man up here. We were unfortunately able to get one of those specific hats that these kind of people would have. So, for some reason, his flash is doing something really weird at his face right now. But, so yeah, this is kind of what he looked like. The idea, was you kind of come through here. The candy was supposed to be there, but it was only there for like maybe one of the people that came through. And then you walk through and you see him, and it's a little creepy because you're like, I don't know if I want to continue because it's creepy, you're unsure. So then you come through here, right? And you see this alien autopsy, sort of. By the way, I apologize for this being so long. I'll have to break this up in a couple separate parts, I think. Anyway, so you can see here, we've got Alien Autopsy, Roswell going here with his huge hands, now that I'm looking at it. Unfortunately, we're not able to attach his feet correctly, but that's okay this time. It's not really a big deal. But definitely a nice little touch. You can look through here, and you actually have something here this year, unlike several other years. Kind of wanted to go back to the days before the channel, when we used to do some kind of like Halloween stuff lightly, and we had some stuff in this window. Then we have that animated jack-o'-lantern character back here too, just kind of looming over, looking creepy. Maybe he's the one performing the operation, I don't know. Then we have a few hidden things like the that Paper Magic Group skeleton and that Terra Partina over there. So one thing I guess I was going to mention, because you guys didn't see my hauntathon, that's usually when I reveal what my costume is. I apologize for not doing that. My costume is actually, I got a Michael Myers jumpsuit, one of the Trick or Treat Studios ones. I believe it's the most movie accurate you can get, I think, without, like, paying, like, super premium, you know? So, that's what I was. That's why I was pointing with the knife. It's a Rob Zombie knife. Unfortunately, I was not able to get a hold of a mask, so I'm using a cheap vacuum form Trick or Treat Studios one. Hopefully for Christmas, I will be receiving a, my mom might get me a Trick or Treat Studios, like, the deluxe, like, Halloween 1 mask, Michael Myers mask. So that would be great, because then I will be it again next year, because I think it was definitely a very creepy costume. Without further ado, why don't we close the video off with, hands down, I guess, the most popular character thing in my haunt, as I suspected, this year, Jack Straw. I'm going to do a quick demo of him. He looked really creepy. For some reason, his head, when it pops up, it doesn't go back down. That seems like a weird weighting issue, because that shouldn't happen with the chain. Like, the chain shouldn't really be responsible for that. It should be due to weighting. Perhaps it's pulled back, like, not tight enough to cause damage, but tight enough that it stuck back. Anyway, I'm just going to do a demo of him really quick, and then we'll close out the video. I believe he's active. Yep. You can see, here we go. So you guys can see, that was Jack Straw. He's held up well. He's been activated several times throughout the night. Mostly by my friend who was trying to walk by. It's actually surprisingly difficult. His motion sensor is pretty good. So anyway, guys, as I was saying, Jack Straw was hands down probably the most popular item. Scared some kids a couple times. I apologize for not being able to talk more about this. If you guys want my thoughts on a reflection or whatever, just leave a couple comments. I'm going to say if, like, two people ask about it, then I will make a video just kind of reflecting on the night and talking about any, like, funny little stories about things that happened if you want. But anyway, I'm going to close this video off right now, and I'm going to real quick record the non-narrating walkthrough. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this really long walkthrough of my haunt, because I commentated. But yeah, guys, please be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Hopefully we can make that goal. I'm going to reassess that goal and say by December, by the end of Thanksgiving, how about? If we can make it to 110 subscribers, I will do that 100 sub special. It was my fault, honestly, that I was not able to make it, because I completely forgot to upload, and I apologize about that. But I might make some other videos and stuff to kind of promote that a little bit, and, you know, give you guys some content during the off season if I can. So yeah, definitely gonna do a Jack Straw review, especially now that I was able to have him tested a little bit. But yeah, like a legitimate one, because I've actually tried the product. So anyway, that was a long outro. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this walkthrough, and I'll see you in the next video.